have so many EVs to choose from in India, all the way from the Tata Tigor EV to the Jaguar I-Pace, but that 50 lakh to 1 crore range is a bit, well, dormant at the moment. This intends to fill that gap. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new Volvo XC40 Recharge, but there is a small problem. This car in its current form, as we see it here, isn't coming to India. Neither is this color. What we will get instead is a slightly facelifted version and obviously other colors, but we thought we'd give you lot a bit of a first drive impression nonetheless. Now that facelift will look like this and will have some minor updates like new headlamps and a new grille. Oh, and before we go any further, I think the XC40 Recharge will be priced somewhere around the 60 to 70 lakh rupee range. In comparison, the petrol one is about 43.5 lakhs ex-showroom. So that begs the question, is it worth the extra money? Let me tell you a weird fact about the XC40 Recharge. They don't have a key to turn on physically or a button to press or anything to twist or turn to start the car up. Instead, they've got a sensor in the seat that knows that my fat butt is firmly on this seat. If I press the brake, tap the gear lever into drive, it just sort of starts up on its own. That is a little uncanny to me, but you kind of get used to it after a bit anyways. So let me give you some of those facts and figures first. 78 kilowatt battery, 408 horsepower from the twin motor setup and 660 Newton meters of total torque, 418 kilometers of official range. But the one figure that I really want to talk about, I need to first pull over for. Because 0 to 100, 4.9 seconds. Let me put this into perspective for you. This car, this Volvo, this compact, safe 5-seater family SUV can outrun a Ferrari Testarossa. It can outrun a Lamborghini Countach. Want something even more recent? It will outrun a Mercedes-AMG GLE 53. Soak that all in. A Volvo. A damn Volvo. Dear God. And they say that EVs aren't for petrolheads. I mean, what are they even talking about? Now this, at the end of the day, is a Volvo, so you expect it to be safe, and along with that comes a whole bunch of assist systems. But you also get some drive assist systems that makes your EV side of things a lot better. So for example, if you do go into settings and driver assists or driving, and you go down and you turn on the one pedal drive, you can actually use that throttle pedal as the brake pedal. Now that sounds confusing to some, doesn't it? But trust me, it works. Essentially what it does is, if you lift off the throttle pedal, it engages the regen braking. Now in cars like the MG ZS EV, you get 3 different options for KERS, or kinetic energy recovery system, which is essentially what this is as well. In this you get just the one, and it is a bit strong. It is a bit stronger than I would have personally liked, and I would have liked a slight adjustment in that one pedal system, because I like using that one pedal system driving mode. But it still works. Car comes to a halt when you take your leg off, so you can actually plan your braking without touching the brakes. This is the kind of stuff that we'll have to do in the future, so might as well get used to it, shouldn't we? Now, one of the cool things about EVs is that you can actually control a whole bunch of systems through only software, including the steering. And by steering, I mean the steering feedback. So, you have something called steering feel firm. That's actually exactly what it is called, steering feel firm. If you turn it off, which it is now, it's very light and easy to drive in the city. It's basically easy to maneuver around. But when you're on the highway and you want to turn it on and you want some more feed or feedback, this feels like a whole different car. It feels like the hydraulics on the steering have been turned up a notch. I know the Teslas do that, and the difference between the steering is huge. On this as well, it's the same. It's massive. It's like you're driving two cars at once. Overall, since we did have limited time with the car, we only drove about 270 kilometers, and none of them, shall we say, were gentle. All of them were brisk with a nice sprinkling of showing some tailgating road users what 400 plus electric horses looked like. At the end of my stint, I still had 22% range left and a readout of about 80 kilometers, if you're wondering. So I have no doubt whatsoever that this car can do a realistic 350 plus range if you don't mash the throttle every few minutes like I did. You know what? Truly, I think this is the kind of car that people take a test drive of and then they will put their money down immediately and just buy it. These are going to fly off the shelf. I mean, even I'd have one if I could afford one.